2024 was a big year for me. I finished college, I started a new career and relationship, and I played a shit ton of video games. It felt like a really solid year. Last year was kind of the big year, and I think 2025 has a chance of being another huge year, but 2024 was just really consistent. Lots of new things, lots of solid entries into existing series. This year also just felt insanely long now that I look back on it. Did you guys know Prince of Persia came out in 2024 and not 2023? Oh yeah, we're talking about Prince of Persia. Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown was robbed of being a highlight of the year for so many people, mostly because it was banished to this shit. But if you like Metroidvanias, this is one of the best we've ever gotten. It has incredible movement, the world design is on par with even some of the best Metroid titles, good music, a unique setting. Please, give this game a chance. I feel such internal shame bringing up Stellar Blade in any context, because anytime this game is brought up, it seems like it's because they gave her a revealing costume or someone's gooning over her model, but beneath all of that over-sexualized slop is an amazing title. It's one of the best looking PS5 games to date. It's one of only two games that actually feels like it makes use of what the PS5 is actually capable of. It draws heavy inspiration from Nier Automata in its combat, atmosphere, and soundtrack. It feels almost too similar at times, and I feel like it struggles to find its own identity because of it, but it's just overall an amazing product. I almost forgot Tekken 8 released this year as well. I spent almost 60 hours playing this game the week it dropped for content, didn't touch it at all until they announced Clive was being added, and I got sucked back into Tekken. It's such a unique fighting game compared to every other fighting game out there. Every character has a ludicrous amount of moves and insane strings make it so hard getting into, but once it clicks, damn is it fun. I can't speak for how this meta is compared to Tekken 7's or previous titles, but they did really reward aggression. It seems like every single character can win the match off of like 2 combo starters, and I love it. I hope they continue to add cool characters to this game, because outside of Clive, it was super lackluster to me, but fingers crossed 2025 is looking bright for Tekken. I am a sucker for Souls-like games. You put that shit on the Steam page and I'm probably gonna add it to my wish list. Another Crab's Treasure couldn't be more polarizing than it is. It's got a bright, positive energy to its color palette, its soundtrack. It feels like a sequel to a SpongeBob game. It's not nearly as hard as any of the other Souls games. I think I died maybe twice, but it's able to do a lot of charming things that you just couldn't find in your average Souls game that makes it worth trying. I normally never touch DLC in story games. I think I've only ever revisited a game once or twice because of something new added, but Shadow of the Erdtree was something special. This felt like its own small game. I spent over 20 hours trying to get through the main content when I first played through it, and it got the same amazing world design. The bosses were fantastic outside of 2, maybe 3. I could not get my fill of this game. Once I finished it for the first time, I immediately started New Game Plus, went through everything again, and then I started New Game Plus 2 because I just could not stop playing this. Astrobot is a combination of every 3D Mario they've ever made, with a bunch of PlayStation ads mixed in, and it's pretty fun. I'm not trying to hate, but it feels like a lot of these ideas and level gimmicks for things we've seen similar enough to a 3D Mario. Same case as Stellar Blade, they take heavy inspiration and they do it extremely well. The themed levels ended up being my favorite part of this game because they felt like the only moments where they strayed away from Mario and leaned heavier towards its own direction. There's probably going to be a sequel at some point, and if they had larger levels all themed around PlayStation IPs, that would be cool. I was so excited for Rebirth. I pre-ordered the collector's edition within the first 20 minutes of them announcing it. And when they told me the game wouldn't arrive until Sunday when it released on Friday, I went out and bought another copy just so I could play it the minute I could. And it was worth every penny. Rebirth covers a lot more than the remake did, and it does wonders for its pacing. It comes much closer to achieving the charm the original game had. There's almost nothing to say outside of that hasn't been already said about Remake. Combat's pretty much the same, it has all the same issues gameplay wise that existed in part 1, but I play these games to see it all reimagined and pretty, and it's exactly what you're gonna get. Rivals of Aether 2 has largely replaced Smash Bros. For me. It's a solid mix of Melee and Ultimate. It got me to buy a Steam Deck just so I could keep playing it, and I hope it has a bright future ahead of it. Crouch canceling is too damn good, and it seriously needs to be reworked. It's got some very strange bugs that need to be ironed out, and I feel like there's an evil wizard out there who chooses to nerf my character every single patch for whatever reason. Balatro might be the story of the year. A small little project made by a guy who's ever even played a roguelike before making his own, ended up winning multiple awards and being in high contention for the best game to come out all year is nothing short of inspiring. The game is insanely addictive too. It took all but one run for me to get my teeth into it, and every day after work I would come home, grab my Steam Deck, and wind down with it. It's the perfect combination of simple to pick up but complex builds and routes you can take to finish a run. I've watched people play this game for hours. It got me to buy the mobile app just so I could play it at work. I don't think I've ever bought any app before this. It is that much fun. It's everything a game should strive to be, and I can't wait to see what they do next.